cannon rushed, like purely cannon rushed though, killed the entire base of his opponent, like not one building left.
Yeah, well, we got player introductions here we can go into.
Yep.
At the bottom left of this map, which ones are these guys? Okay, that's it. Okay, so at the bottom left of this map, we've got the Terran and Protoss players representing Team Non-Koreans. It is Psystorm Gaming's Intense. And his little buddy, of course we know him as desRow.
Just a little guy. And their opponents in the top right-hand corner. The Blue Terran and Protoss. It is Axiom Pro Streamers, Heart and CranK. I say really what you need to do, especially in Archon mode, is have 3v3 so you have one guy trash talk and the other two play. That is how you properly do 3v3.
The amount of APM it takes to trash talk these days is pretty, you know, it's a little too high these days. It's getting to the point where only if you're smurfing can you really trash talk. And so, for me, I like to have, like you said, you know, designate a guy to trash talk. And I think Blizzard really needs to get to work on that. That needs to be the next update that they have. You know, something, because this isn't League of Legends, lads. Thank God for that.
No, like 10 APM, nothing like that, no.
No. And not just that. We're allowed to shit talk in this game, because this is an intense game. This isn't for babies. Okay, this is a grown-ass man game. All right? Where we shit talk each other and drink rum and stuff. Smoke cigarettes.
And stuff. Yeah, you know what's great? There was an SCV Rush tournament I casted like a year and a half ago. And when we're playing it and there's a pause and he's like, I need to go smoke some cigarettes. And I'm like, are you serious in the middle of the game? And he's like, oh yeah, dead serious. And I'm like, well, okay then. I don't know what I do with this situation, but just to point out, guys, this is a TVP no, it's a TNP versus a TNP. A Terran and Protoss versus Terran and Protoss. Like, I didn't know how to properly say that. It's not a TVP and TVP. It's a Terran Protoss versus Terran.
You didn't think this one through in your brain before the words came out, did you?
I did not know.
You started talking, and then you were like, "My brain's gonna find out what I'm talking about here," and then mid-sentence,
it's a pata. It's a pata versus a pata. It's like petit drogo.
It's like petit drogo. No, it's a P and a T versus a P and a T. It's a TP versus PT. Is what we're calling it these days, lads.
But that is the stage of the meta in StarCraft 2. Like, the names just evolve. Okay, Tyrannus, give us a little bit of knowledge on what Team Non-Koreans is doing right here.
Okay, Team Non-Koreans, which, if I'm still, you know, got my names correctly, we went Factory and Reactor Barracks before Command Center. Now they're throwing out a Command Center, but a Reaper from Axiom's Pro Gamers is going to get in here and get a pretty good scout off, maybe kill an SCV, definitely make him pull some SCVs. But going back to our to desRow and his teammate, we've got a Stargate just about to finish. So, like what you were talking about earlier, there could be Phoenixes. However, the Stargate for Axiom's Pro Gamers also finished, and we see an Oracle in the production tab.
Yeah, it's that scary situation. You sometimes see it in TVT when both players do like a 1-1-1 build. It's, do you build the Banshee or the Raven? Do you build the Phoenix or the Oracle? And for Team Non-Koreans, we see it will be a Phoenix against the Oracle, but man, I mean, the Koreans, I feel like potentially we see the Oracle just like dodging them. For now, though, there will be a third base of Intense, so at least it will have a little bit of something kind of out there to try to pick off that's not quite well as guarded.
Yeah, it's gonna be two Phoenixes by the time I think the Oracle gets here. So it's getting a good snipe off on that Pro, but this Reaper is gonna die to these Hellions. It might get up in the main base. No, it's not gonna get any further scouting, but it kind of has an idea because it saw the Nexus and the Command Center. Now these Phoenixes are going out on the map, so they might miss the Oracle. A second Nexus has gone down in the natural of Axiom Pro Streamers, and they're going to go ahead and send that Oracle up to the top left of the base. I don't know what it's going up there for, but you know, it's who am I to say? There are Marines out here, of course. Axiom Hearts going for Widow Mines, and eventually a Medevac. I guarantee you. There is a second factory on the way, so are we going to see? I believe we're going to see Mech coming out of Intense, which is definitely a strong choice, but interesting, especially against a Protoss player.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. It is very interesting, and it may be one of the nuances of 2v2, how the compositions work with each other. And one thing I'm a little worried about now, I feel like Hart's just going to rely on the Phoenixes of CranK, but he does not have Stim. He has no upgrades for these Marines. These are very squishy Marines, and he's just going to be relying on what CranK has. And at first, I was going to say, you better be worried about two Koreans staying on one base apiece, but I guess we're going to be worried about Team Non-Korean starting the game off, setting their own tempo, and with these Phoenixes right here, I mean, it's so hard to actually deny this, and because the Oracle first for CranK, he has one less Phoenix, which will stack.
Yeah, but the Widowmine is there, and it's not going to be able to shoot anything just yet. The Hellions getting good shots off on these Marines, taking out a couple and getting some down to really low health. But there's no other anti-air here, and the Phoenixes, once they're gone, they're going to have to back away, and the Hellions realizing that for Team Non-Koreans, and they're going to get themselves shoot away just now. But staying outside of that natural area, if the scan goes down from the Korean team, I guess they're Axiom Pro Streamers, if those Marines push out, they're going to meet these the Koreans, those Korean players.
Korean versus non-Korean. Korean versus America.
That wouldn't mind going off on two, taking one out, and the Marines there to put a halt to any further harassment. And this is looking like the sort of this composition isn't working out as well as desRow and his teammate wanted. I guess we're calling them non-Koreans. Yeah, non-Koreans. Non-Koreans aren't working as well as they wanted. The two Marauders in the front there able to dissuade any further Hellion harassment. This is exactly what we're talking about. We do have Blue Flame halfway on the way in an armory, so it is going to be mech Terran. It's going to be interesting to see this dynamic between Protoss and a mech player.
Yeah, I completely agree, and I mean, I like non-Koreans. I like what they were going for, but they had to get They had to basically cancel one of the bases to actually make this worthwhile. At least they will have a little bit of a contain, but as you said, the Marauders are in the force. They're going to start doing a lot, and just FYI, where all that went on, the Oracle of CranK went in and got like 8 kills and then was sniped by something. Like, it ravaged the main base of Intense down to only 4 workers. I don't know where he started, but he had only 4 workers when I checked.
Yeah, desRow taking the fight here a little bit against as well. He's just making more Phoenixes. He's producing 2 at a time, and I think it's you kind of called it exactly as it was going to happen. As Phoenixes become super important. A Thor is on the way, as well as +1 vehicle attack for the Terran player Intense on the non-Korean side of things. Of course, Bio for our Axiom Pro Streamers team, so Stim and Combat Shields and +1 infantry up is on the way, and it's just Phoenix. They're just producing Phoenixes, and this is what this comes down to. CranK has more Phoenixes than desRow, so who's going to win the fight? Well, probably
Not
CranK.
only does CranK have more, but CranK has the bio beneath them, the Marines. The Hellions obviously can't shoot up, so these Phoenixes, it's only Phoenix versus Phoenix. Once the Marines come under those Phoenixes, they're going to just decimate it. So really, I mean, this has gone from a fantastically aggressive game for Team Non-Koreans into a mech game where they're going to be on their side of the map for a very long time. And especially with CranK, I mean, just trying to annoy that 4th base, everything. And it looks like Axe and CranK have really taken a dominant hold, at least map control wise, and it's now gone from pushing from one side to the other.
Yeah, there are a lot of Hellions here in this force, but Widowmine's going off in the main base of Intense. They're going to get a couple kills each, just the one.
Got 3.
3 kills total. A Stim coming in from these Marauders, coming forward, canceling down the photon cannon, taking out that turret. The Hellions are caught out of position, as well as the Sea Tanks and the Thor with these Stim Marines. If they can get a pretty decent surround, but the Blue Flame doing a pretty damn good job against that light bow. But now the Marines getting their DPS to work here. The Sea Tanks aren't sieged. They're not going to siege. Stimming forward, stutter stepping their way to victory, and it looks like this is going to be a nail in the coffin. If they don't end it right here, and it looks like they will, there's going to be a nice little stream of red parade marching their way across the map to put an exclamation point on it. Phoenix is lifting up any future Hellions coming in to maybe defend something. One final siege tank, not going to get time to siege. Lifted up, in fact, by the Phoenixes, and this is not what the non-Koreans wanted to happen in Game 1 of this series.
No, and I mean, they just looked so powerful in the beginning. We were both kind of doubting, or at least I was like, oh, wait a second. Can they actually take this game? But no, not even close to it. Axe and Hart just saying, like, give us a second, give us a second. We can break the contain. And Axiom Pro Streamers currently 1-0 versus, like...
Yeah, so here in the top right-hand corner, They are the non-Koreans, so we'll get right to these player introductions here as we get our good luck, have funs out of the way. Top right-hand corner of Omicron, which is the second time we're seeing this map. Currently down 1-0 representing the non-Koreans. It is our Protoss player, desRow. Bam, bam, bam. And his teammate, representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is the Terran player, Intense. Intensifies.
And their opponents. The two Korean players contrasting the non-Koreanness of our red team in the top right-hand corner. It is Axiom's Heart, Axiom's CranK, together, the Axiom Pro Streamers.
That was the weirdest way to introduce a team.
I was trying to think of just a unique way.
Like, what did I messed up. I did it wrong. I gotta come up with
I somewhat planned it, was the funny thing. I was thinking, what if I said their names first and then said the team name?
I think that's what I did in the first time, and it seemed a little weird.
It did seem weird, but hey, I had to try it. I needed to have my own experience with another person to really...
How to feel.
Really feel.
How was
You know what? I felt a little awkward at first, but then it was good. It was good.
But then it was nice.
Yeah,
it came down.
Nice.
The intro
came down.
Yeah, rolled off your tongue.
Yeah, come under, come on top. It came down well.
It came down. Prepositions of whether we're coming or not. Okay, so we've got a simulator. 2 simulators getting thrown down for desRow here, and a gateway. Are we going to see more Phoenixes, or are we going to see something else? Damn.
I call Phoenixes just because literally, like, when I said that in the beginning, that's the only thing I can guarantee you for 2v2. Like 100%. It's always going to, they're always going to mix in Phoenixes. Now, they may not stay Phoenixes, but there will always be the emergence of Phoenixes in this matchup. And again, by the way, another player did change the race. Nothing too crazy, but that'd be kind of funny on the loading screen if it didn't say the race when they first load in. And it's just kind of like, I don't know. They could both go Zerg.
Or if they went random.
Yeah, that'd actually be that'd be more fun.
By the way, StarCraft lesson of the day, and Saber didn't believe me the first time I told him this, but if you would go random, you know how in the loading screen there's that little hint about like if you could call down mules with your command center energy. It's like do this.
Pro players play this professionally.
Yeah, exactly. If there is a hint about the race, then that is the race you're going to be playing if you're a random player.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Tyrannus, you've made my day.
There you go. I don't know where I learned that from. Probably Reddit, something like that. I'm not on Reddit anymore these days, but when I was on it. But that's your new lesson for the day. This Reaper of Intent is staying home, not going to go forth and scout. I think he's expecting CranK's Reaper, and CranK's Reaper is also going home. So there you have it. Oh, that's Heart, rather, not CranK.
It's Axiom Pro Streamers Reaper. You know, it'd be great if they just shared unit control, and it's just the ultimate kind of wonky Archon. Like, we could make whatever we wanted. One player does both the macro, and then one player does both the micro.
In the future, both players... Oh my god, he got stuck a little bit. He got trapped. That was literally the worst spot he could have been.
They tripped him in the hallway.
In the future, Archon mode is literally going to be like joining bodies. It's not going to be... Yeah, you're going to have like... What's that one guy from Mortal Kombat who had 4 arms?
No idea. I played Soul Calibur, mate. I played Soul Calibur.
Goro!
I played a lot of Soul Calibur.
Saber. Yeah,
Goro, thank you, Saber.
Mortal Kombat is like the Bible of gamers. If you didn't play that, you need to go experience it.
I played Super Smash Bros. Melee, and then I played Soul Calibur.
Well,
those were my games, but yeah.
Before that, I think this is Super Nintendo, so this is like 1997 days, 98, whenever I was like 4. Anyway, that's what the future Archon is going to be. It's going to be a Korean with 4 arms. He's going to be the best StarCraft player.
Wait. Why don't we just get some good surgeons and make this happen already? Like, we don't need to wait for Legacy of the Void. Yeah. By the way, guys, Heart is just going into bio. Wow. CranK is switching it up. I will take... I guess I was wrong with the Phoenixes, but he will be going Blink Stalker, which, I mean, Mass Bio and Blink Stalker could be really, really scary. Especially when Medivacs heal Stalkers. Not joking about that.
But, you seeing what I'm seeing? What else we got?
Actually, technically they wouldn't, but...
Yeah, what else we got?
Yeah.
DT Shrine.
We also have Blink on the way, though, and it's all in one position. So one scan. This is not like a cheeky build by CranK. He's just like, yeah, I'm DT Blink stalkering you. I don't care.
There's a lot of stuff in desRow's base, and there's not a lot of stuff in Intense's base, which lends to the belief that he gave all of his minerals over to desRow. Here's the Mothership Core. Blink up is about to happen. There's a bunch of bio there and some SCVs surrounding a full bunker with Marines in it. So he's deciding not to go that way, warping in some more Stalkers, and they're going to go up into his Protest opponent's base where there's a slightly less amount of Stalkers there to meet him. But they might snipe the Mothership Core and the Blink up from desRow, and he's going to get out of that Photon Overcharge and snipe a Pylon. And I might get sandwiched here.
Currently, it is 8 gates off of 1 base for desRow. Right now, Intense is taking the only one taking a second. But what this means is Intense believes in desRow's blink capability, and we'll see how that goes against CranK, who does a blink, but like has half the force. Bio, though, may be able to squish this army. Let's see if it goes down. CranK is still trying to believe his main base will be focused down. We may see the situation where neither player is going to give minerals to rebuild a base like we saw in the first Gemini League, but now there's almost a full surround. Blink Stalkers of CranK. They need to be careful. They could be very aggressive here and blink down. There is a couple DTs with CranK, though, that did kind of do some early preliminary damage, push it off. And now, desRow can keep pushing from this, but desRow actually, Team Non-Koreans is on 3 bases and actually doing pretty well for themselves economically.
Yeah, but that's all those Stalkers are going to die. The aggressive blink down from our Axiom Pro streamers and the stem forward from the bio here. There are more Stalkers being warped in, but they're able to be targeted down here by the bio. This is a diminishing returns game because there are Stalkers in tow for our Terran player as well. Axiom Cranks so Axiom Pro streamers come up here with a combined Zealot bio force, and it's just the army of desRow. So they kind of did an Archon mode special where one of them did mainly economy and the other one did the micro of the armies, and actually you saw targeting down that supply pylon, forward pylon there, stopped a warping as well, so really putting a halt to desRow's aggression.
You know what's funny? As I watched this, Intense was microing those Blink Stalkers.
Oh, well there you go. I was wrong.
I was like really curious because we see missile. It's kind of funnily enough, we see missile turrets in desRow's and Intense base, and it is very much Archon mode. But I looked at it, and desRow was doing macro just for that one moment. Though we'll have to pay attention to that. But Mass Blinks, this is what happens again. Just how good is Mass Blink Stalker when it's only Mass Blink Stalker versus Stalker Bio? Because the Bio it's so much DPS, and yes, Blink Stalkers you can really get a lot out of them, but against bio like this and against these Korean players, just how well does this composition match up versus? It's kind of like if you bring it down to it, two Stalkers versus a Marine and a Stalker is pretty much the composition. It's just fit straight down the middle for Axiom Pro streamers.
Such interesting stuff here at 2v2 XL Gemini League. Such just craziness. You've never seen StarCraft like this before, boys. High level 2v2 here. The production tab is off the chain for Axiom's part. We got all sorts of upgrades and units on the way as these Blink Stalkers engage the bio as well as Blink Stalkers. And actually, I think desRow found a little bit of success in that engagement. Maybe not as much as he would have liked to. At this point, that one I would conclude is a stalemate, Drenok.
Yep, neither concussive shells nor +1 was coming down for Axiom streamers. It'll be done in a couple seconds. Once that is done, they should be able to start pushing desRow unupgraded Blink Stalkers. But still, I mean, desRow or just non-Koreans, they're looking to make something happen. And I'm just watching who's microing what. Intense is doing all the Blink Stalkers.
Yeah, that's weird. Intense is handling all of that, and you'd have expected it to be desRow, but he's...
desRow's macroing it up, baby.
He's not, yeah. So we've got
if you think about it, desRow is all the production, and Intense is no production. I mean, it's kind of a weird way to put it, but desRow is all the production, so it'd be easier for him to do the production, but maybe not so much their shared unit control. I don't know. This is very wonky. We'll see though.
Thoughts.
Words. Oh wait, this actually. What I'd love to see Hart do is pick up everything into Metavax and just have the most mobile bio Blink Stalker force. Even though he could so easily lose a lot, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Here comes down a little engagement here in the middle of the map. The Zelnaga Tower is Blink Stalkers, the desRow, and Intense attacking up into Axiom Pro streamers' armies. Stemmed bio with 3 Metavax as well as Stalkers It's not looking good for our non-Korean team here. They're on the retreat. Concussive Shells doing what Concussive Shells do, and that's halt stalkers in their tracks. They're going to fight in this little canyon here, and unfortunately, even though they're taking their fight at Thermopylae the best as they can, the offensive forward blink for Axiom Pro streamers coming down from CranK means that the unlikely here is the non-Koreans are not going to be doing anything anytime soon here. The blink back's doing as best as they can, but when you can also blink and you blink forward, it's not too great. STVs are getting pulled. Jinock, this is the end of the end.
It is. desRow, by the way, is 1,500 surplus minerals, just kind of floating around. Just thought I'd point that out right there. But
yeah, good. Let's shit on desRow some more. Real good. Real good.
Whoever was doing macro had 1,500 minerals, while Intense had 0 minerals in the bank. I don't know how it worked out right there. But in the end, the Koreans, their macro, going into that battle.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.